Alright everyone, welcome to the final 3 episodes of RE Resistance Interviews. Tonight we have Reyvern, also known as Ray. Bonjour Reyvern, I see you.
Bonjour my friends, I see you too my friends. How are you here? And thanks for having me.
I'm doing good, Reyvern. I'm glad you're finally on here.
That's nice to hear you here. I'm glad you could make it, and I'm glad I could be a part of this, I think.
Alright Ray, first question. Who is your main survivor and main mastermind, and why?
Oof. Tough question. Okay, not really. First of all, I need to tell everyone, I was first actually a survivor main, to surprise, probably. And I used to play a lot of January back in the days, but I was one of those players that couldn't play Mastermind for a very long time. You know, we had like that time was like you couldn't play Mastermind for some reasons, but since I could play it after certain patches, I started to play Mastermind, and I decided first to play Net, but I saw Daniel as my favorite Mastermind, and that's how I got actually to Daniel, because I liked him the most. Yeah, that's actually it.
Once RE3 dropped, what brought you to Resistance? And did you try the beta, Ray?
Okay, that will be probably a little bit longer, I think, the story, how I get into Resistance. But I try to make this short as much as I can, guys. Okay, I didn't actually know that Resident Evil 3 remake came out, by the way. I'm sorry for that. I used to play at that time when Resistance came out, and I also didn't play the beta, by the way. I used to play Conan Exiles as a survival game, and one of my friends that was a pair was also Resident Evil fans, and they bought Resident Evil 3 remake, and they told to me while we were sitting in a party, yeah Ray, I was like, what's up? And they were just like, yo Ray, they dropped a multiplayer game when you bought Resident Evil 3 remake, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, let's check it out. They said would be cool. Then we played it for I think up until Nikolai came out, because since it gets a little bit weird. But yeah, that's the story how I get into Resistance.
Now, in your opinion, Ray, what is the best squad of characters to have for a team?
That's actually an easy question. I think the most or the best survivors you can have in a team are probably Valerie, January, Jill, and the fourth depends on what you like to pick, but I think up to a certain point the meta would be probably Tyrone. That's how I see the meta right now for survivors.
Is there anyone in particular that inspired you to be better at this game, Ray, and improve or change your style?
I would say yes and no. That's a difficult question, because I like to play with my friends back in the days. They tried to cheer me up to play Survivor a lot, but I also want to be a mastermind, because you know, when you play Resident Evil games, you used to play like a lot of Survivor somehow, and I also thought I should play mastermind, try something new out, and I think the most person that inspired me to play mastermind was actually none of those great players we have actually at the moment in the community. It was actually Swingpoint, to be honest, because I saw its builds and I was like, hey, just give it a try. And that's how I got into Mastermind. I would say Swingpoint was actually the one who inspired me the most to play Mastermind, because I saw his builds and I saw it always fantastic, and I also loved it back in the days when I saw his videos coming up for Survivors and Masterminds, of course. Yeah, that's actually it.
Do you play this game casually or competitively? Sweat or non-meta?
Okay, to be honest, when I started playing Resistance, I wasn't a sweaty mastermind or a sweaty survivor. I was just playing casually with my friends, having fun. But since they dropped certain stuff, I tried to play Mastermind more, because my friends dropped, my OG friends dropped from Resistance. I was like, okay, let's play. I still wanted to play Resistance, so I just started to play Mastermind. And I was like, first I played casually, of course, and then I started somehow to play sweaty, I think. Don't know why though, but it made it more fun to play against teams, in my opinion, than just playing probably the meme builds. I'm not for sure though how I can explain that the best, but I'd like to be a mix, probably when I'm streaming, but mostly I like to play more sweaty there.
Have you ever felt this game is too one-sided, more in favor of Survivor or more in favor of Mastermind?
To be honest, at one point, like, that's where we probably came later to it, but at one point in this game, I didn't feel like any of the sides were actually OP, because, like, when it came out, up until, I think, Nikolai, let's say it in that way, because I don't know for sure all the updates right now at the moment. Up until Nikolai, I think it was like the game were balanced, because that was the time when I had fun playing both sides, like Survivor and Mastermind was always fun to play. I had the best times actually there, I think, because yeah, that was the best time in my opinion. None of the side was OP, but if I look right now at the current meta of this game, I definitely say it's Survivor side, that's definitely for sure.
Ray, what's your best memory of this game? And who were you with when it happened?
Oh, my best memory? Oh, oh my gosh, I have too many memories of that, to be honest. But I think the best memory was when I was playing with IDK and my lovely Becker ex Nihilo. Shout out. And of course, we had Jill Sandwich with me. And before we were playing just casually some games, I actually uploaded that clip on YouTube, but my best memory was we were playing in team. I played Valerie, and we had the amusement park against another Daniel player. And if most people know me, I'm a Daniel main, so I know what Daniel is capable of. And I was like, okay, we're fine in that moment, and we were trying to make a core, and X and IDK and Jill were good on it, and I was like, okay. So I just said to them, I go shopping. So what did I do? I go shopping, so I tried to run, it was the amusement park by the way, I just ran to the item box to try shopping, to refill my stuff, and at the same moment I was running into the item box, the mastermind dropped Mr. X and tried to kill everyone, and I was like, ah, fuck this shit, I just gonna buy some stuff there and yeah, just buy stuff. And Jill was like, what are you doing, what the fuck? They couldn't care, they couldn't laugh. It was just too funny because Jill laughed also, because everyone was like, Mr. X dropped, they were panicked, like something like this, and I was like, oh fuck this, I'm just gonna shopping there. That was probably my best memory of this game.
Ray, what are your thoughts on the Resistance community as of right now? And why do you still play in it?
Oh god. Oh god. I wonder. Okay, I try to be honest as I can. I think when probably most know, I just returned to Resistance after almost a half year. So I think before, like let's say 2021, like the half and the end of it, I think the community was okay at some point, but since we were going to the tournament from Mutated Enemy, which were actually pretty good for one person, but it was more flop than anything else, to be honest. But for just doing that one person try to make everything for a tournament as you can was pretty good, in my opinion, but one person wasn't enough to make the whole tournament as it could be. I said to him too, he should have needed more persons for him to provide a better tournament, just saying that one, but it was still good. But I think after this point, after the tournament, and when I dropped and I just restarted playing this, I heard a lot about from my friends here in Resistance that the community right now is really toxic. I mean, I wasn't a player who was really toxic. I always try to be nice and try and be sweaty as much as I can. But I always, I don't think I have a trash talk someone. No, I don't. But I hear that a lot of players are being toxic in this game, so I don't know why. In my opinion, they should just shut up and play the game and having fun and say GG in the end of the day. Because in the end of the day, it's just the game you play. That's all I can say. Just don't try to be toxic, man. It's a game, man. Yeah, don't try to be nice. Be nice to each one. You know, karma is a bitch.
Now, how would you change the meta of this game? What would you add or remove from it, Ray?
Oh, heater. That's a big question. Like, for real, a really big question. Because right now I think I probably will talk too much about it, but I try to make it short as much as I can. But and I probably will be shaking the ground of some players here, but I try my best to make it short for everyone. I think the best time in this game for Resistance, we're playing around before Nikolai started, because that was the time where I most enjoyed playing Resistance for real, because I think that was the time where builds were equal to each other, Mastermind and Survivors. But if I look at the meta at the moment, there's too much which needs to be changed, way too much, and I try to make it short as much as I can. Where could I start, man? I think the most problem in this game, probably the lags player, but that's not always up to the Mastermind, because, you know, the meta is somehow the lag too, because some people can't play because of the lags, but even if you have a good internet connection, doesn't mean people can play from Japan to a Europe player. And I think some servers would be good and would provide a good, healthy experience for this game, but unfortunately we don't have it. So somehow the meta should also be focusing on the servers, but since we don't have it, it's unfortunately. But yeah, coming to the point for the real meta is what needs to be changed, man. I mean, that's too much. It's too much actually to talk about. I try my best. First of all, if I'm looking at in an objective way, there are just two builds, in my opinion, when I'm talking as a Mastermind main, which are actually strong, but still can be countered very easily, and that's probably Trap Alex and Nikolai, Gun Nikolai of course. And I think those both builds are probably most the reliable builds you can play in Resistance for having actually a chance of winning, and as a Mastermind against good players. And the rest of it is just like the Survivors just running through, and because that's a fact. And for the meta itself, where do I start? I think Survivors have a broken economy. That's the thing. That's not actually that they are powerful, that they need added slots. I mean, they should add slots for Masterminds more probably, because Survivors have 4 Masterminds. When I added skills and stuff, I think Masterminds need another slot, because I just have 3 skills and Survivor have 4, by the way, just telling. And I think most problem is the economy of this game, because Survivors have like a crazy amount of economy. When I'm playing, like for example, a team against, it doesn't matter which build I play, for example, but if I'm playing better stuff on a Survivor with friends, let's just say IDK, X, and French, which I played the most back before I restarted playing the game. I think when I play Battery or another Survivor, I don't run out of ammo, I don't run out of green herbs most of the time. We're just against, let's say, good Masterminds, but the most of the time I don't run out of ammo, I don't run out of herb, and that was crazy. That's just crazy, because I think it shouldn't be that easy to have that amount of stuff in your inventory from the start to the end. And if you're having a backer with you, she can provide unlimited ammo, which is kind of nuts. And yeah, that's one point. And the second point is, problem is, you know, people were talking about the shotgun meta. I mean, shotgun is meant to be powerful, guys. It's meant to be powerful, because when we play Resistance game, when you play a Resident Evil game and you buy a shotgun, you always know it was a powerful weapon. It was a powerful weapon, so you bought it, of course, and you try to make the best of it. But in Resistance, it's not necessarily that it's powerful. It's because of the crazy amount of economy Survivors have and can provide, because I mean, how much ammo can Survivors get? And that's just crazy, because if you're thinking just of broken builds, I mean, I just saying right now, playing like economy bad and something like Borgenbin Jan, you can provide a lot of ammo for the team, like a lot, with the right equipment. And if you have a backer with you and playing against a zombie build, you can have way more ammo than you ever want to have on your inventory, and that's just nuts. And then combine it with a shotgun, that's just more nuts. And we're not talking about the damage you can do as a Survivor. And that's the second part I go to. The thing is, I'm playing a lot of games in my past, a lot of survival games, but I also played some bigger games. Most probably will know, for example, like World of Warcraft, or right now I'm just started playing League of Legends again. And if I compared Resistance to one of the bigger games out there in this beautiful planet we're living, and I just seeing, or just make a, I don't know the English word right now, a comparison. If I make a comparison between League of Legends and or World of Warcraft and League into Resistance, I just can't see how Resistance is balanced, because everything I play as a mastermind. It doesn't matter if I play creature, it doesn't matter if I play guns, it doesn't matter if I play traps, I will get hard stack countered by survivors. Why is that? Because it's not necessarily because of the builds, it's... Oh my, wait, it's because of the builds. But if survivors were running the meta stuff, January can one-shot your cameras, like equipped with guns. So even if you don't play Nikolai, for example, you play like me, Daniel, and even if you don't play modified gear, and that January you have anti-armament, your camera gets one-shot. And it's just one person from 4 survivors. We're just talking about one person. The same is going on with the economy, by the way. For example, Jan with Bargain. And that's just one thing. Second thing is survivor damage. If I look at Jill, like IDK Jill, for example, which I feared the most from every Jill I played against, he legit could almost one-shot my Mr. X, and I was like, what the fuck? And if you have a bioweapon, I mean, bioweapon should supposed to be powerful, but Mr. X became immune, by the way, or bioweapons in general, because Jill can provide such a damage, but I think Becker could provide way more damage than Jill. I think, I don't know for sure. They're both doing a crazy amount of damage, and if I see it in that way, Jill can just two-shot your bioweapon, and in general they can one-shot almost your creatures, or will one-shot your creatures. It doesn't matter if it's them some tough zombies, because it also can hard stack countered by high damage builds, or when I have, for example, you play Buffinet, they just have to be one Becker and one Martin for debuffing. The amount of bioenergy you spend for spamming your creatures is way too much, and if I just see Martin can just like flash it and then they kill it like in one rush, and you just spend all your bioenergy, that's just nuts, man. By the way, and that's the thing with creatures and guns. And now we have traps. I mean, traps are one thing, but I mean, Valerie as a nullify, or in general, survivors can just almost one-shot traps, and nullify well can just nullify every fucking trap. That's just also nuts, by the way. And seeing the bigger picture, survivors can just one-shot everything. Like for real, they can one-shot everything. They can one-shot your camera. They can one-shot your camera if it's not equipped with a gun, but a good Jill and Jan combo can just like Jan and Jill just shoot your cam and then it's just like black out. Not so cool, by the way. I don't mind though, but it's not cool, by the way. It's just crazy. And if you're seeing all that shit combined together, that's OP. I mean, survivors can one-shot your creature, your traps, and your cameras. So as a mastermind, when I'm placing a zombie down, except for Ivy, which is a special card, by the way, I can't see one single creature that can one-shot a survivor, except for Ivy. But an Ivy can just like one-shot it by Martin's landmine, Molotov cocktail, or not one-shot it with a torch, but you know, a few torch swipes and an Ivy is down. But from creatures' perspective for a mastermind, so creatures can one-shot a survivor. Just make a comparison right now. Even if you play, I think, a lot of damage on traps, I don't think, I'm not quite sure though right now, I don't think you can one-shot survivors too. And I think the only thing that can one-shot survivors is actually with guns, but only if you use like the combination with group, shield and machine gun. And that's the only combination where survivors can get one-shotted at one-shotted, like one-shotted, it's not one-shot by the way. And I think that's the part where survivors are most pissed off on this current meta, is because of Nikolai. Because I think survivors don't like Nikolai because, if I'm being honest right now, survivors don't like Nikolai because Nikolai is one person in this game that can make guns cheap as hell and still have a lot of ammo on these guns. Like air cannon and groups are just have 2 shots, not a single mastermind can do that shit. So if I'm combining that, Nikolai is able to actually one-shot survivors. I mean, even a Daniel or a Gunspencer can do that too, but Nikolai just provides more economy on that. So I think people are most afraid of gun builds because they are not being able to one-shot anything anymore, because Nikolai is just a gun build, and if you have a shield on your camera and you're getting grouped and machine gun, you can't do anything, you just die. And I think that's the most probable reason survivors don't like to play against Nikolai, because they are also getting one-shotted. But that's just my personal opinion. and I think that's the most reason people hate Nikolai. But I think that's why people invented Nikolai this way. So the people who played Nikolai and then doing the build, you know, I'm not a one who played Nikolai back then and developed this build. Yeah, that's the one thing. I don't think Nikolai is actually too strong in my opinion, and also not trap Alex, because everything can get easily one-shotted. So if I come back to my comparison with other games, for example like League of Legends and World of Warcraft, when I'm playing Leech for example and I just start the first 3 minutes, I'm not being able to one-shot a single other enemy champion survivor in that case. If I compare just Leech and this game, I can't one-shot even the enemy we're playing equally. We need like 5-6 shots before we can, let's say more. I'm just being right now try to make up for something, but just trying to be try to make people understand how this meta is right now. You can one-shot someone on League of Legends, but here in this game, Resistance you can. That's actually bad. If people don't see it in that way, then they should probably play other games. And yeah, that's actually it. But the most broken stuff that broke actually the meta is not actually the crazy amount of damage, it's more the economy in my opinion. But the most broken builds that came out, for example, why people left Resistance was actually the moment where, I'm not talking about the Mastermind side. I know that some Mastermind builds can be really strong, but they're actually not that strong, everything. But yeah, Trap, Alex and Gun Nikolai can hurt, yeah, that's true. Because they can provide somehow a good amount of bioenergy and can deal a good amount of stealing time. But to compare it with other builds for creatures, for example, I'm just getting, when I'm playing Daniel with creatures, I'm mostly getting countered because of a goddamn Kashimir. Since the Kashimir came out, that broke totally the game, because you can't play, for example me, I'm a Daniel main, I can't play, or I'm not feeling comfortable to play just creatures anymore, because I'm just getting stun locked either ways with a shotgun, which is somehow okay, but if I'm just getting stun locked with a goddamn Kashimir, you as a Daniel main can't do shit, because you're sitting in a creature for like, I don't know, 10 seconds, and you're actually, as a Daniel main, you're used to be in the creature because that's a strength as a Mastermind. Daniel is supposed to be controlling creatures, and you can't do that because of the Kashima. If you don't play invincibility that just lasts with implant chip for like 5 seconds, you can't do much actually. You're just getting stun locked with Kashima if you don't play invincibility, and then the crazy amount of damage survivors can do, just one shot and then it's over. And that's for creatures, that was the thing that broke the meta completely for Masterminds, because the Kashima just broke completely Daniel gameplays, and that's where probably most players left the game. And I'm not talking about the Reyvern. I think the Reyvern was somehow okay because of the crazy amount you can spam creatures. But I think the Reyvern should be introduced as an area 3 weapon in my opinion, because the Reyvern is supposed to be a strong weapon and have unlimited ammo, so if you ever should try to fix this game, put it in area 3 card, because when you have like an area 3 Alex and then you buy a Reyvern, I think that's legit, for example, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And yeah, and for builds, for example, for survivors, if I compared anything, I think I'm just trying to compare it, Nullify Well, for example, against the Trap build for Alex. Nullify Well, just it breaks probably the most Trap Alex's next from Trap Alex. Too much talking. Sorry. And if I compare now January, she can one-shot every camera you put a gun, and even in enhancing stuff. Like if you use like the OG enhancer, not the sprays, the enhancers where you buff your creatures, so you can also one-shot that. Just keep that in mind if it's not shielded. So if you play just like this, you're also getting one-shotted. And but that one-shot is something you can't say it's okay. Actually, it's not okay, because nothing should be one-shotted in this game, not from a Mastermind side, not from a survivor side. but all in all, a camera shouldn't be one-shotted. It should be like a two-shotted, for example, like the Jill combo. I think that's legit, but one-shotted from one survivor, no way. That's too OP. But I can't see the thought of the developers on that, because they gave Nikolai the what was it again, the automod shield. So you get always a 1 second shield, but there's 1 second in the game. It's nothing, by the way. And after that, your camera also will get one-shotted. So that's actually not so cool. But the most broken build actually is not like the crazy amount of damage you have, like for example on Jill or Becker. The most broken build in this game is this stuff came out, for example, like the Molotov Valerie back in the days, where it makes creatures totally useless. She just throw. I used to play with my OG teammate too, because that was just broken. It makes fun the first moment, but then when you were a mastermind, you just saw it's completely broken. Because it's throwing grenades, you buy unlimited grenades and you just throw them, and they will just like when you played Fallout, for example, you can have their mini nukes, and for example, they were like, if you're throwing just mini nukes the whole time, and that was not cool. But somehow they nerfed it, which was good. But compare it right now to Yellow Valerie. Yo, Yellow Valerie is totally broken. That's the brokenest build I've ever seen in a whole game. Because a healer, I mean, Resistance is somehow MMO based on characters. Because there's also in MMOs like a healer, a damage dealer, and a tank. I'm not talking about enchanters, but let's say just make it short: healers, tanks, and damage dealers. So Valerie is supposed to be a healer, and with Yellow Valerie can be everything, like legit everything. She can be a tank, she can be a healer, and she can be a damage dealer. And to thinking that's just totally broken. That's just totally broken if I think it in that way. And when you're using the right equipment on Yellow Val, she legit don't die. It doesn't matter what you do as a mastermind, she legit don't die. If you have enough yellow herbs, she won't die. It doesn't matter if you shoot her in your face with a rocket from Nemesis. It doesn't matter if you place 50, just say 50, that's OP. But just say like 5 explosive threats, or you try have, I don't know, she don't die on the explosive map either. Or when you try to play Nikolai Area 3, what's that gun? I don't know the gun, but you know what I mean, the sniper rifle for 6 for Nikolai. Don't know the name right now. Where these also a lot of damage. Even that, when you have Clone 2 and you have like 4 shots, even that wouldn't kill Valerie, Yellow Val. So that build is legit so broken that it broke everything in this game I can think of. And yeah, that's my thoughts about this meta. I think the Kashimir and some certain survivor builds legit broke this game because even the damage is too crazy. I think somehow it's okay on creatures, even though it should be nerfed at some point, because creatures are not reliable anymore. I think too much, because if you're thinking at the survivor side, when do you have as a back or legit problems with creatures? You just one-shot them. And for example, if you don't play buff in that, and if I'm playing as a Daniel, like I said earlier, a Kashimir just broke the whole game. Even for Daniel, your creatures are not viable again. Can control them, so you just like a Daniel main sits there. Why do I play this game actually? And then you have like Mr. X, your trump card, your bioweapon supposed to be your trump card, and it's like you're placing it down, and then the Jill is like, you want stars? I give you stars. A dodge. I don't know what was no, it was not the lightning. It was her magnum. I don't know the word too. It was her magnum. She pulls out and then she's like, bye bye Mr. X, and then you're just sitting there Mr. X for like, I don't know, 50-30 seconds. Why do I play this game actually as a Daniel? Why? And I think that was the point where resistance, or the meta for resistance, starts to go down, because there were too much shit. I mean, there's shit on Mastermind side too, but that shit is just too OP. that shit was just too OP for masterminds that I'm not talking about traps and the gun stuff because even that can be countered, but for legit, like, we all love playing against zombies, but that shit broke totally everything on this game because zombies are not viable, and even if you want to play Mr. X because you love him from Resident Evil 2, you can't play him because he gets two-shotted from a Jill. And we're just talking about the Jill. We don't talk about the other 3 party members from your survivor team that could also provide damage. And that's the biggest issue in this game, I think. And that if you see them that way, one survivor can just legit one-shot everything. And you have 3 other survivors. So yeah, a mastermind can't do that, in my opinion. Like I said, or I tried to explain earlier, I don't see a creature that can one-shot a survivor. I don't see a trap that can one-shot a survivor. And the only thing that can one-shot a survivor is just group shield, group shield and machine gun, and I think that's the most broken stuff. And yeah, that's actually it for the meta stuff, by the way. If I should change the meta, there's too much to change. I think I tried to explain the best of it, but to make it short, that was it. If you should change the meta back to where it was good, and I think it was that part before Nikolai came out, and every OG player knows what I mean by that, because before Nikolai came out we had legit not so broken builds, and that was the most time I had fun in this game because Survivors and Mastermind were equally actually at that time. And that's all I have to say about meta. Sorry, what's so long, by the way.
Now, Ray, in your opinion, just for fun, which player is the best with that particular survivor? So, best Valerie.
Okay. Oh, no, this question goes on. Okay, I tried my best to remember the best players I fight against. Since I'm a mastermind, since I'm an OG mastermind, and being a sweaty one too, I think I try to pick out the best survivors I can, which I played against. If I miss someone, I'm sorry, guys. But that were probably the most players I fight against right now, we're telling you, and which have the most impact on me. So for, I think it was Valerie, yeah. For Valerie, I think the best one was, I think, Adrian. But there are also some mentionable Valeries too, for example, like Violet. She's also a really good Valerie. And I think... oh god, what was his name again? I forgot it, I'm sorry. I really forgot it, damn it. But I think one of the older Valeries, I think it was worth mentioning from the older French Reaper team, was Dishana. When I played against the OG French Reaper team, I don't think it was the OG, but it was like the good French Reaper team back then, when they used to play together, like French X, IDK. And there was that one Valerie I used to play a lot against, and also with her. Her name was Dishana. I think she was also doing a really great job against me, and I think there are many Valeries out there who are good, but they are the most 3 that stuck in my head all the time. And Violet stuck in my head because I just fight her like several times a few days ago. Yeah, that's it for Valeries. I'm sorry if I forget someone. All who played against me as a Valerie and all the other survivors, I will give proper shoutouts to everyone who played against me in the teams. You were all good, man. I just try to remember everything right now that I just thought in the long interview.
Best Jan.
That's the easiest questions, I think. Because Sebastian is and will always be my lovely, what was it called in English? I don't know. But he has the same name as me because that's the funny. My rename is Dominic too, and you all know him, it's Dominic. Sebastian is definitely Dominic, there's no way around him. He can shot you from an angle, that's crazy. He, like some other survivors, oh I forgot that in the meta by the way, never mind though, yeah, like wall hacking and or shooting through walls, he don't need it. He's for me the best champ because he don't need that shit. He can't shot when the door is open. Don't dare to try to go back to the camera you were before because you will one-shot that. And in that camera you're right now, and this survivors open that door. Be prepared to have a goddamn shit, because if you're not, you're getting one-shotted by him. That's a fact. It doesn't matter on which angle, he will definitely try to getting one shot at that camera. And I think in quick turns, when you're trying to shoot your camera, you try to go behind him, you try to shoot him. He's damn quick to try to make a quick turn and then shoot your camera also. And I don't see much gens who can possibly do that, like I played against, and he stick out the most of all the gens. So he's definitely rank 1 gen for me. But there are also other good gens, for example like Scooby or I think Axe was actually a good gen too. But Bam, for example, Bam Reyvern the USD gen, who is a really weird gen, but built for gen, but hey, he was also doing a pretty good job with gen. And I think some other genres probably deserve some recognition too, which I don't remember. One of the name, don't know the word right now, name right now, damn it. For example, from Depot's team, they also had a crazy good gen too. She was also really good. And Abo's team, the Arabians, also had a really great gen too. So yeah, that's the most gens that stuck in my head. Sorry if I don't remember the names, but you know what I'm talking about, guys.
Best Sam.
Best Sam, hard question. Some Sams don't stuck in my head. I don't often see Samuels when I'm playing Daniel, but I think the best ones are probably Pep and oh god, I would say Frenchie, but Frenchie Peeper. I like to call him Frenchie, by the way. Frenchie is just like that typical Samuel that run into traps when he's playing Samuel. So I would say those two are probably the best Samuels in this game, but I give first place to Papnak. Yeah, I think there are other good Samuel players too, and but most of those two stuck in my head because they were really good. I think some of Jared's team also had a good Samuel. I don't remember the name, I'm sorry guys, but you know who I mean. I played against so many players, but some of them are really great, doing a great job against me on that particular survivor. So like I said earlier, shout out to everyone who played against me on that particular survivor, and if I don't remember you, I'm sorry guys. Yeah. So yeah, there were the most Samuels that stuck in my head.
Best Tyrone.
Best Tyrone, okay. Hard question. There are some good Tyrones. I will mention a few. I think, in my opinion, the best Tyrone I played against as Daniel was someone people don't expect, but I think the best Tyrone, in my opinion, when I play again as a Daniel was actually Abu Halol. It's a Reyvern player. I think he deserves more recognition because he's a really goddamn good player, and when I'm playing Daniel, Digit knows how to counter my Gun Daniel build as a Tyrant when I first started playing this build, and he was like, oh, he knows how to counter it really fast, and so I give props to him for that. He's in my opinion the best Tyrant, but there are still other good Tyrants too. For example, like Adrian is also a good Tyrant too, but I think Whippers is also a good Tyrant, to be honest, and there's many other Tyrants who are also great, but I try to make just three that stuck in my head who are being the best, but like I said earlier, there are many players who are good.
Best Martin?
Best Martin? Oh, I don't fight many Martins, to be honest. I don't see many Martins, to be honest. But I think, what's his name? Some people mention him, and I just fought against him like 1 or 2 times, not really much. Just like a really rare amount of times. But I think his name was something with Husky. I don't know his real name right now. Something with Husky. If you guys know him, you know what I mean. It's Husky. I think it was, yeah, something with Husky. I've just rarely played against him, but I think he was the best Martin in my opinion, because he legit were doing a great job with Martin, like flashing stuff and placing the mines perfectly against the creatures. So yeah, he's probably the best Martin in my opinion.
Best Becca.
Best Becker. You want recognition right now, Aether? Okay, you get it. Aether, you're probably the best Becker, in my opinion. But I also give shoutouts, like I said, the 3 best Beckers are, in my opinion, like you're a rank 1. I would say True Evil gets the 2nd place, but he don't get the 2nd place because I give it to Axe. because X-Becker is my favorite Becker because he always confused me with his Becker, and you know what I mean. X. Yeah, but yeah, I know he's also a really good Becker player. But yeah, like I said, Aoife, you're rank 1, no doubt about it. X is B number 2, but I also give shoutouts to True Evil. He's also a really good Becker player I like to play against, and yeah, there are also other good Becker players out there, but you three are probably the most that's stuck in my head at the moment.
Thank you very much, Ray.
You're welcome.
Best Jill.
Best Jill, easy question. IDK. IDK is the best Becker. Best Becker. Fuck. IDK is probably the best Jill in my opinion. You know why? People don't see it, but IDK was one of those rare Jills. Before Swing Point uploaded his bio killer Jill, IDK already used that build, and that's the craziest part of it, because he was one of the first ones who used that build, and that's not actually the first thing that it's crazy. The second thing is that most builds that are right now in the meta for the survivors are coming probably from the French Reaper team, because that goddamn Jill Jan combo came from X and IDK. The like, let's say, just two-shotting your cannons, poo-poo, like ants. And they came from Jill and I think it came from IDK and X. But the most thing that stuck on IDK is that he is a really goddamn good Jill player. Because if I try to group him or shoot him, he will do a goddamn thing to use his dodge. He is one of those Jill players who don't need his dodge to avoid a group or an air cannon. He just knows somehow, I don't know how, but he just knows how to counter that shit, or dodge that shit, better said, and that's just crazy. Because a good Jill will just like use her dodge, and IDK has that one Jill that don't need it. That's the crazy part about it. And the second part about IDK is because his build is probably right now the meta for the Jills with EMP2 and counter civilians that makes cameras so useless and provide a ton of damage on cameras. And his build also can do a lot of damage to creatures and trap builds because of counter civilians and also on cameras. And that just particular Jill build is just so strong. And that was IDK's build. That's not one from one, that's IDK's fucking build. And he was just like crazy with his Jill when I faced him. We had our quarrels, but and we like to you know, like shit talk each other. That's what we always do. Yeah, you know what I mean, IDK. And but he's in my opinion the best Jill because of his dodges. Don't need his dodge from Jill because he knows how to stay hidden, and he will show you the way with Jill because he's like Dominic. He sits in the corner and just shoot your camera if you don't expect it. He shoots your goddamn Mr. X if you drop him. He's like, do you place out your Mr. X? Do you place out your Nemesis? Do you place out your Veil? Do you place out the D-Fear? I will shoot your D-Fear too. Don't worry about it. No, I'm just kidding. But he's like, do you place out your bioweapon? Just do it, please. And he's like, oh, your bioweapon. Please say hello to my I don't know the word, but to my fever skill from my Magnum, and say hello to my beautiful Magnum that can two-shot your Mr. X. And he's like, and he's dead. That's IDK probably in a nutshell. And he's also good at shooting cameras, and he deserves, in my opinion, also because of his build, the rank of the best Jill. But there are also other good Jill players, for example like Scooby. He is in my opinion the second best Jill. And I don't know who I could be actually ranked at the third place. But X is also a really good Jill player, but there are also many good Jill players too. Probably deserves a mention, and but I think they're the most people that I played against, and that can hard start counter me, and that's the thing when you're a good mastermind and you're having like a good survivor. You recognize most of the time. That's probably why they are good, because they hard start counter you. And that are the three that are mostly stuck in my head. There are also other good Jits, definitely for sure. But I wish just try to make it short for the interview, for the sake of the interview.
Now, in your opinion, which player is the best for that particular mastermind? So, best Daniel.
Okay, yeah, best Daniel. I never saw me at the top, by the way, as best Daniel. Because once I was actually a Ned main, but I think worth to mention for the best Daniel. I think I give that position actually to me, but for Gun Daniel, but for creature, I don't know actually a good creature Daniel, to be honest. But I think worth mentioning is that fuck, Jetfire. Jetfire's meme, yeah, it's a meme, but his Infinite X build, he can also do a good job on with a meme build on with his Infinite X on Survivor. And I think that's worth mentioning too for Infinite X build for Daniel, and I think he deserves also recognition. But I think also Bongo deserves some recognition as a good Daniel play, because he has a really high rank on Daniel, and since Daniel is not survivable in this meta, he deserves also some recognition in my opinion. Even though he don't try to become competitive, but he also deserves some recognition. Yeah.
Best Alex.
Best Alex. For creature Alexis, it's probably Red Labs, definitely for sure. For traps, it's oh god, fuck his name. Fuck the names. It's so long. I'm sorry. Best trap Alex. God damn it! It was an Arabian player. I think. No. Yeah, I know it. Something with King. Kingo was it? Yeah, Kingo. Kingo is probably the best trap Alex in my opinion. Yeah.
Best Annette.
Oh god. There are not many Annette players because of the meta, just like Daniel. That's a sad part about it. Best Annette player. There's not actually a good Annette player that actually beat many teams, if I'm being honest. But I think a good Annette would probably be like Minato, like when he used to play, because he was the legit highest ranking masterminds at that point. He was like, I don't know, 600. And at that point, Lin Kuei, who was like a totally 24/7 player on Nikolai, was just like 300 or 400, and the Minato was like, I don't know, 500, 600 in that play at that point. But then he started to start playing this game. So at my point, the best in that would probably be Minato at this point, because it was so damn high ranked. Even when we had like, you all know Lin Kuei, he was like legit that the player that mostly played this game. But at this point, when I compared Minato and Link, Minato has way more hours at this point of the state of the game, and at when he played, that yes was just like 600 with the net, and that was just crazy. So he has most effort as a net player, so I give that to Minato. But second place would probably be Aruma, who taking this spot. I think he reached 999, so GG's to that. And yeah, they're probably the most two net players that's stuck in my head right now.
Best Spencer.
Oh, Best Spencer. Shit. Best Spencer. Actually, not so many good Spencers, but I think Whippers and his Gun Daniel, who has, I think, a similarity with my Gun Daniel build, were also doing a great job on Survivor teams, so I give that one to Whippers, I think, for Best Spencer. Yeah. Shout out to you, Whippers.
Finally, Best Nikolai.
I mean, it's yeah, do you need an explanation for that? You know, who is sitting mostly in a party. By the way, that new build from Link with this fucking Bioenergy tank was my idea. Yeah, just to let you know, that fucking Bioenergy tank was from me, who you now used it. It's definitely Linkway in my opinion. Linkway is the best Nikolai, long story short. There's no other Nikolai that can catch up to him. There is one, actually, to be honest. There's one Nikolai that can catch up to him. But that's not a certain someone who thinks he's good. I mean, he is good, but not as good. I think probably Dark, if I'm being honest, is probably the third best Nikolai. But there's someone who's just almost as good as Linkway that people forgot, and that Nervous Leader. I think most people forgot him because I don't think he play anymore. But compared to Link, oh, he was so damn close with Nikolai. Nervous Leader is probably the second best Nikolai in my opinion, and the third one is probably Dark here. but the best Nikolai definitely Linkway, for sure. No doubt about it, Linkway is the best Nikolai. Yeah, and like I said, Nervosida definitely almost like Linkway, almost. He's not as good as Link, but he is near to it, really near. He's also really crazy good Nikolai. If you don't know him, then you should play against him, then you know it. Yeah, that's probably for Nikolai.
Final question, Ray. Who are a couple special players you prefer to play with?
When I started playing Resistance, Survivor again, when I used to play a long time just Mastermind, the most time I enjoyed actually when I played Survivor was, of course, with my friends, everyone I played. But the best time I had was probably with the OG French Reaper team with Frenchy Boy, IDK, and Dex, probably, because I had so many great times with them. But I also mentioning, of course, my buddy Linkway. I like to play with too some Survivor games. But also I like to play with Just Sandwich. He's also a good Survivor, and I like to play with them when I play in Survivor the most. Yeah, that's actually it.
Any final statements or anything you want to say, Ray?
Of course. First of all, thank you for having me, Efer. It was a nice interview. I try to make it as short as possible. I hope I can make a good point on the meta of this game, and yeah, for the community stuff, guys, don't be fucking toxic. That's no point in being toxic about the game. And if you try to be competitive and still being toxic, then you're doing something wrong, because you won't see when you compare it to other games that legit are the best games, probably because they're most played, like let's say Warzone, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, LOL, or other games that I used to be in the top. Fortnite, I've played Fortnite too. Not my game, by the way. But like those games, when you have pro teams there, they won't be toxic to each other. They just say GG, was a great match, guy, man, see each other again, man, hopefully we get you. It was a great time to fight each other, and that's how you say GG's. Move on, play your next game, and that's it. I can say, don't be fucking toxic, that's no point in it. But if you're still doing that, then you probably have some issues with your life, and you should somehow need help, probably, but that's just my opinion. But all in all, thanks you guys for having this great experience on Resident Evil Resistance with you all. It was a big journey. I just recently started playing again, but I will say, guys, don't expect me to play 24/7 this game anymore. I won't do that. I will just casually hop on for one few matches, mostly on the weekend, and provide you, of course, my special Daniel servers. And yeah, see you guys in the matches. Bonjour, my friends. It was a crazy ride with all of you, and see you guys again, probably in this game or in the next game. I don't know. And bonjour, the Reaper will, the German Reaper will always be there. Thank you. Watch out, guys. Stay safe.
All right, Ray. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome, Efer, and thank you too. See you.